Coronation Street aired a mysterious cliffhanger tonight, as an unknown character appeared to be robbing the Rovers' return. But who was behind the surprise theft and why did they target the pub? This week's installment of the ITV soap ended with Eva Price's young daughter Susie coming down the stairs of the Rovers, where she and the Driscoll family live. As she reached the ground floor, she noticed someone rummaging around in the back room, and slowly crept in for a closer look. While Susie appeared to have identified the thief, viewers simply saw her shocked expression. But upcoming episodes reveal that it was Will Driscoll who was taking money from the safe, which landlord Ben had accidentally left open earlier that day. How will Susie react to the theft, and will the teen be able to keep her quiet? After Will's horrific grooming ordeal was recently revealed, his mum Melanie arrived on the cobbles, insistent on taking him to live with her in Scotland. Knowing the family would be against the idea, Melanie began blackmailing Maggie to convince Ben of the move. In tonight's scenes, Will finally agreed to go and stay with his mum, just to get a break from the teasing at school. However, viewers will soon learn about his real plan to run away to France with groomer Megan Walsh, using the £2,000 he stole from the safe. In next week's episodes, Will packs his bags and waves goodbye to his family in Weatherfield, who believe he is making his way to Scotland. He jumps in a taxi, driven by Tim Metcalfe, and heads to the train station. On the way, Tim discovers the train to Glasgow has been cancelled, and when Will insists on continuing to the station, his suspicions are raised. He gently encourages Will to open up by sharing his own experiences as a victim of grooming. The chat helps Will realize the reality of the situation, and he later reports Megan to the police. But how will the villain react to his change of heart? The latest episode of Coronation Street left viewers stunned with a tense Rovers return cliffhanger after the pub's takings mysteriously vanished overnight. What began as a routine closing shift quickly spiraled into chaos, suspicion, and betrayal, as everyone connected to the iconic Rovers return and found themselves under scrutiny. The episode opened on a deceptively calm evening inside the Rovers Return Inn. Jenny Connor was locking up after a busy night, counting the cash drawer one last time before heading upstairs. But when she opened the safe, her expression changed instantly. The money, nearly the entire weekend takings, was gone. At first, she assumed it was a mistake. Maybe Daisy had already banked it. Maybe Carla had asked for a loan repayment. But within minutes, it became clear, this wasn't an error. It was theft. Panic spread quickly the next morning when Jenny raised the alarm. Daisy was the first to be questioned, having been one of the last staff members to leave. She insisted she had gone straight home after her shift, brushing off accusations with her usual sharp sarcasm. Ryan was next in line, frustrated and defensive, pointing out that he'd been in the cellar doing stock checks while the till was being closed. Each explanation sounded reasonable on its own, but together, they painted a confusing and increasingly suspicious picture. As word spread across the cobbles, old tensions resurfaced. Glenda became convinced that an outsider must have slipped in through the back door, especially after she noticed the yard gate had been left slightly ajar. Meanwhile, Carla's arrival only added fuel to the fire. She immediately questioned the pub's security procedures, suggesting that internal theft was far more likely than a random break-in. That comment alone turned suspicion inward, splitting the staff into defensive camps. What made the situation more explosive was the discovery of a broken glass panel near the back entrance. Craig was called in to investigate, and while he initially leaned toward a forced entry, something didn't sit right with him. There were no clear footprints in the damp alleyway, and nothing else appeared to have been disturbed, no stock missing, no tills damaged, just the cash itself carefully removed. It looked less like a smash and grab and more like someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Tensions reached breaking point when Jenny publicly accused Ryan during a heated confrontation behind the bar. Ryan fired back, reminding her of past financial troubles at the pub and accusing her of being desperate to shift blame. Daisy stepped in, trying to calm things down, but her nervous reaction only deepened suspicion. Viewers were left wondering if the real culprit was hiding in plain sight, using the chaos as cover. However, the most significant twist came in the final minutes of the episode. A brief, almost unnoticed scene showed Glenda returning to the pub after hours, claiming she had forgotten her phone in the dressing room. As she moved through the dimly lit bar, she hesitated near the office door. The camera lingered just long enough to reveal a faint sound, rustling papers, the click of a drawer. Then, as she looked over her shoulder, the safe was shown slightly ajar in a flashback-style cut, suggesting someone had accessed it with familiarity rather than force. The episode ended without confirming anything outright, but the final shot was unmistakable, a wad of cash tucked inside Glenda's handbag as she left the building, her expression unreadable. Whether she was the thief, or whether she had discovered the truth too late and taken matters into her own hands, remains unclear. This cliffhanger has sparked immediate speculation among fans. Some believe Glenda may have uncovered the real thief and taken the money as leverage. Others think she could be the mastermind, using her overlooked position at the pub to quietly orchestrate the theft. A third theory suggests a more complex twist, that the money was moved to protect it from an even bigger threat, possibly linked to external debts or blackmail involving the business. What makes this storyline especially gripping is how it plays on trust within a close-knit community. The Rovers' return has always been more than just a pub, it's the heart of Weatherfield life, where secrets are shared over pints and loyalties are tested under pressure. By turning that safe space into a crime scene, the show has effectively destabilized every relationship tied to it. Behind the scenes, the writers have reportedly been building toward a larger arc involving financial instability and hidden agendas within the pub's management. This theft is expected to be the catalyst for deeper revelations, possibly exposing long-buried conflicts between key characters. As things stand, no one in the Rovers is above suspicion. Jenny is desperate to protect her position as landlady. Daisy is acting increasingly erratic under pressure. Ryan is furious and unpredictable. Carla is circling with business instincts sharpened. And Glenda, now at the center of the storm, may either be the victim of circumstance or the architect of the entire deception. One thing is certain, the mystery of the missing money is far from over. The next episode promises answers, but in true Coronation Street fashion, those answers are likely to create even more questions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.